Good morning. It's me again, Teresa Valentino, and I just wanted to share with you an amazing little mental health victory that I had. Um, I've actually done some very good things for myself in terms of I have less anxieties now than I've ever had in my life. I definitely have much less despair than I've ever had. I have days when I don't feel any despair at all sometimes, which is pretty amazing. I've been feeling I would have to say despair was the predominant emotion that I experienced from 1972 until like last year-ish. So that was pretty major. So this morning I was doing a meditation, and I don't know if you can hear that on my other device right here. I have a thunderstorm playing with rain. And I know that the folks who watch my channel for whatever reason just a lot of times don't like going to therapy, which I disagree. And meditation is another one of those things that people just kind of feel like, I can't do it, it sucks, my brain keeps doing stuff. But here's what I'm here to tell you about that. Your brain will keep doing stuff, and that is fine. You have to learn that mechanism. Oh, hey, my brain is still doing stuff, and that's fine. I'm still in control of my experience. Like, the fact that my brain wants to continue to wander off to Kokomo, that's one thing, but I still get to say, oh, okay, but I get to focus on this nice little rainy sound here because I like it. It's relaxing for me. So this morning I was just kind of doing a nice little relax, and I had an experience of the house that I got foreclosed from a few years ago. I had bought my actual dream house in North Carolina. It had 2 ponds. It had a koi pond and one in the ground, a gazebo. It was on an acre of land, had hardwood floors. It was beautiful. I bought it from a married gay couple, and they had just outdone themselves with the decoration. Like, even after they moved all their furniture out, it still looked totally fabulous. So I moved in there, and I had no furniture. You know what I mean? It was only a 2-bedroom house. It was a 1,000 square feet house, not huge by any kind of American standard. It was on 1 acre of land. But the land that it was on was only just about, not much wider than the house itself, but just went all the way back and then was abutted by the pine woods. So it was really nice, and it was so quiet at night. Like, I could just lay there and hear not a single thing for hours and hours on end. It was amazing, astonishingly restful for my soul. So, but I actually had no way to maintain 1 acre of property that was gonna grow like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's a subtropical climate there, so it's hot and things grow really fast. It rains all the time, and so that's a job I could not keep. There's no way I could keep up. If I had 5 weed whackers and a husband, if I had a husband, maybe I could have done that, but there was no way. I could just barely keep the inside of the house clean, even though I didn't even have any furniture. It was like that. So because my mental health was really bad, I lost my paramedic job, and I was getting foreclosed. And that's just a long, slow grind into mental health self-destruction, after which I became homeless. So it wasn't like I was just being panicky Sue or whatever. Anyway, I got all off track talking about this, but this morning in my meditation, I just realized the reflection between the property that I got foreclosed, which had that big, beautiful property in the back. There was a cactus garden all the way in the back. I mean, it was really something special. Like, I could wander all the way back there and discover all kinds of stuff. Like, a deer died in the back of my property one time, and I didn't know anything about it until I saw vultures out there, and I just went to go see, and there's a carcass. Oh my gosh. So, and that only lasted a week. I mean, it was completely gone. You couldn't tell there had been anything there fucking at all by the time the coyotes got done with it. It was for real. But, so I noticed that, like, that's a reflection of my physical condition too, because here's how do I tie all this together? Hey, Therese, in my meditation, when I was listening to the rain and the thunderstorm, just to calm down with my breathing, and with my circulation, what I started to do, because I could hear birds chirping outside my window, which now, of course, they're not doing it anymore, when it would be perfect for the explanation, but I could hear the birds chirping, and I could just imagine that the air that I was breathing in was the same air that they were chirping in, if that makes sense, which is true. But just like becoming aware of the fact that the outside and the inside, circulating the outside to the inside and back, because that's what's happening all the time anyway, but just being aware of that. And then I just imagined that as the rain and the thunderstorm tape, of course it's a video, but because I live in LA, it doesn't rain that often, even in the winter, but I just imagine that the rain coming down would like form the way it does out my window. When it does rain here in Los Angeles, it comes down like a cow peeing on a flat rock. It is just like water from the sky, boom, comes down. So it comes down like it'll come off one part of the roof and then just goes like in a real stream. I'm explaining this really badly, but you know what I mean. There's this one part where it really pours down. There's no gutter, but there should be a downspout. And so I imagine that that is pouring like into my heart and just circulating all through my body so that the rain is flowing into my blood. My blood is all made of the rain, which is also kind of true if you think about it. We live in a closed system here on planet Earth where nothing ever really disappears. It just keeps changing form. So all the oxygen that we're breathing was created by trees breaking up all the same old molecules. Like we breathe out CO2 and we take in oxygen with our every breath. In comes the oxygen, out goes the CO2, right? Excuse me. And trees do the opposite thing. They breathe in CO2 and they output oxygen. So we absolutely need them on that fundamental level. This is something that's happening all the time. You're always exchanging oxygen molecules, and oxygen, as we know, is a big part of H2O. How the trees and the ocean smash them all together, the hydrogens and the oxygens, still we don't know. But we can know that that is what's happening inside our bodies because of the miracles of science. So it's the same molecules inside of your body as are in the Pacific Ocean, as are in the sky, as are in Hobo Pea. It's all the same stuff. So that just showed me this morning as I was having that little experience, and then my mind was running 1,000 miles an hour back to all the different emotional stuff that's tangled up with, buying your dream perfect home and realizing that it's too much for you anyway and you can't afford it and you have to go be a homeless lady living in a van. That was a lot of emotional changes. Like I said, my mind strayed a lot, but this was really a good process for me because I saw the absolute reflection between the way I feel about my physical body and the way I felt about that house. Like I feel like I need much more physical space and stuff than I actually do, than I even want. Because then when I have it, I can't maintain and care for it. It's a weird corner that I've turned. Now, I know you don't think that the next thing I'm about to say is that's how I understand how I'm going to lose weight finally. But that's where I'm at because I just recognized the house is just a reflection of my physical body and the way that I have miscalibrated thinking how I need to be in the world. Understand that I was always a normal weight child until I got raped a bunch of times. And then I almost immediately started putting on weight. And that was a huge, huge problem for everybody in my family. Now, looking back at I don't have very many photographs of myself because they were not trying to take a lot of photographs of me. And I definitely did not want to be photographed because I was a scapegoat. So I had really low self-esteem and I felt like the ugliest, worst, fattest, most disgusting person alive. So there aren't a lot of pictures of me. But when I look at them now, and I remember how I looked. I remember exactly how I looked. I was a mildly chubby kid, especially by today's standards. People are a lot fatter now in general. But I was really not that large of a kid. And just like the minute that I was fatter than absolutely like slender, it was a fucking problem. And they never let off me. Like I remember as a 7-year-old wanting to kill myself because I was fat. And I was like slightly chubby. So that just is what it is. But that's a pretty big ball of shit that I know I'm not the only person here trying to untangle. I have this kind of physical clutter on my body, all these extra fat that I don't need, and that makes me have to have a lot of extra blood that I don't need and take in more oxygen and my heart doing more work than it needs to do. It's just like having too big of a house that you can't really manage or maintain, and you just need to let that shit go. And actually, I was in a lot of ways happier in the van because it was so much stress and pressure on me to not be able to weed whack my way out of my depression. You know what I mean? Like, I just could not, even when a couple of times people came over and helped me get that yard straightened out, it was just such an overwhelming clusterfuck of my whole life falling apart, basically, because I didn't have any money and I wasn't eating enough and I wasn't getting any mental health care and it was just bad. So, getting into the van forced me to streamline and simplify. And I got a large enough van that it allowed me to keep all of my art supplies. Pretty much all of them. I mean, I feel like I got rid of everything, but I totally didn't. I have a whole closet full of shit in there. So that's how I'm going to wrap this up. Like, first of all, let me recommend using natural sounds if you have any kind of trouble sleeping or if you have trouble meditating. Just put on, like, here's another one that I really like, which has, sometimes when I use this one that has the actual chime sounds to it, sorry, it's got a little commercial, but when I use the one that has the chime sounds to it, I can actually get tingles all over my body from the chime because it'll be just rainy. Hear it? Now it's raining. And then that one little high bell when it comes in will send tingles all down my legs and my feet. It's fucking nice. So, and then this is another really good one because it has like the crickets and everything. So you can just totally play with this. You can just, don't think of it as meditation where I have to clear my mind. I have to be sitting in the zazen position and my legs are going to hurt and everything. My butt's going to hurt and I have to kind of remember to only think about breathing. Skip all of that. Skip past all of that. And just lie in bed and imagine that you are in this little magical forest with the crickets and, you know, the owls and everything. And breathe into that. And just imagine being like a magical person who lives out in a little enchanted forest and can do anything they want and can be anyone they want. That's what meditation can be. It can be super easy. So hopefully one thing that you can take from this little rant that I'm doing here today is that when working with your higher self, you have to allow things to fall into place. Instead of thinking you're going to make them happen, you have to allow things to fall into place the way that they can happen that you couldn't think of, right? Like it would never have occurred to me that listening to a thunderstorm meditation this morning would have helped me understand what I need to change about my thinking in order to finally lose weight. Because here's the thing, I haven't even been trying to lose weight for a long time. But at this point, it's a major health concern. Like if I live only a mile, I live like a mile and a half from the actual Pacific Ocean, where almost every day there are people out there. I mean, right now they have some hella wave situation happening where they're telling people, go in the ocean now, you will die. Don't even think about it, bitches. But on an average day, there's people out there doing stuff I don't even know what it's called. They have a thing with a surfboard, and then they're like sailing like a kite in the air, and it's fucking crazy, man. So I could be doing all those things. If I had a bicycle and I was of average health again, I'd be able to ride my fucking bike to the beach every single day. You know what I mean? Swim in the ocean every single day for free on a bicycle. Shit like that should be that simple, but it's not because I'm just too fat and my legs are fucked up and, you know, it's too hard for me and I'm too deconditioned. So I don't care how I look anymore. Honestly, you can tell I just wear whatever the fuck I want and I don't wear makeup and I don't care, you know. But I just want my health back so that I can do everything. You know, I feel like there's a lot more that I could be getting out of life. I should be able to walk to my local library from here and every day go to the library and read for kids and then walk home. It should not be a problem. It's only like 1 mile. Fuck. But that would just wreck my back. Actually, now that I say that, I might push it today. I might go walk over there today when I do my reading for the kids and see what happens. So I covered a lot of stuff and it's not super clear. I'm not sure what I will title this video, but basically I just wanted to let you guys know how you can use meditation, how you can use nature sounds, and how meditation can allow problems to solve themselves once you kind of step out of your own way. And I hope that that's helpful for you. Check me out, TeresaValentino.com. I would love to hear your comments below. You can subscribe and then you'll hear about it whenever I make a video and all that kind of stuff.